Well, how's it going, guys? Andrew here.
And Connor.
Hope you're having a good time.
This is a big movie. This is the
cinema's kind of been dead for a second.
A little bit. It's been a rough January February combo. It's probably its
have we
combo
even
in a while.
recorded a review this year?
No. I mean, Jackass.
Because we hated Scream 5, so I really didn't want to talk about it.
Death on the Nile.
No, I didn't want to talk about that. Jackass is...
I guess we could have talked about that, but I haven't watched the other ones.
So yeah.
But yeah, pretty rough start to the year.
But hopefully reviews will start coming out because actually movies we want to see.
Exactly.
Jackass was my favorite. I've seen 8 movies, and Jackass was my favorite movie until the Batman, which is not my favorite.
Yeah, baby.
That's not saying much. So... But this will just be spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah, just spoilers.
It's a long movie. There's a lot of Batman references in there. Lots of the potential future of it. So we'll see.
We're not going to be hitting everything.
People going crazy for this movie, so you probably already watched it anyway, so you don't care about spoilers.
Yeah. We probably won't hit everything. Don't add us if we say something wrong. So let's just dive in.
All right.
Matt Reeves. This is 100%.
So what's his last film? War for the Planet?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
But, I mean, when you look at this, and he's been attached to it. He's been attached to it for a minute.
Yeah.
And, on and off.
Yes.
So, I think regardless, he was like, I'm making this. And it took me, 5 years, but I fucking finally made it. So
it was long. Definitely a long production.
But, I mean, looking at it, you're like...
But mostly because it was freaking COVID.
COVID as well.
That killed a year for their, probably production schedule, so...
So hopefully it makes money. I mean, I think it...
Oh, yeah. I think it's...
I saw a headline that said, I think it's going to be, Warner Brothers' biggest hit since pandemic, so...
Yeah, I mean...
they shot themselves in the foot
ripped the tenant, so... yeah.
Anyways, this is Matt Reeves. It's his vision. This whole movie.
And I'm kind of glad Warner Brothers is starting to give filmmakers their own vision with these DC movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't want to make the Batman Reeves cut.
They've kind of given up on we got to do exactly what Marvel's doing. We got to have our Kevin Feige. We got to have our crop of directors that we keep going to for all these movies. Fuck that. Just
do what you want to do.
Your tales, because I mean, DC, you have the advantage of not having to do the Marvel thing where everything has got to go together. You could just do your solo movies, and I think Batman is, one of the first few with that, with the Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker. So
right off the bat, one thing I knew we weren't getting it, but I like how we're getting the perspective of the Riddler, and it almost looks like a young Bruce Wayne and his parents.
Yes.
Martha.
I was wondering if they were doing.
I knew they weren't. I was I'm pretty sure I read that Matt Reeves isn't doing it, but I think it was still a little because kind of that carries on to how Batman views that kid as a gateway to himself.
Similarly happened to him and what he was dealing with. So.
Instead of losing both parents, only loses one. But
that was one of the biggest emotional attachments to the film for him as a character.
Maybe why he was really investigating it and really wanted to do it. I mean, he never says that, but it's up to interpretation.
Also adds to some of the angst, just him and just orphans play a big part of the thematics of this entire film. So I was going to say he has more of an attachment with that kid, it seems, than even Alfred, because Alfred is that father figure. He doesn't want him as a father figure his dad's dead, and he's still youngish, and he's in this very dark place, so he'd rather emotionally connect with that child, even though he doesn't even know who he is.
I think it was a solid introduction to the Riddler. People were gasping with that the reveal, which was a really cool reveal. Because the TV's going in and out, and then you see him, and everybody's like,
that was a perfect reveal.
I was nice.
And then how just the character design with his eyes too made it
very
especially
unsettling
creepy with the goggles and its reflective, unsettling image right off.
Because it's also the eyes. It's not full circle. It's kind of a slant.
Yeah.
So he's getting a very annoyed look almost,
and we learn how freaking loony he is. So just unsettling that is in general, what his mind's going through when going through that.
And then after that we get the opening monologue with Batman and establishing that it's in his year 2.
Yep.
Don't know if it's like the beginning,
catching
middle,
us
or
up
end.
to speed with everything, what he's thinking about.
And he's pretty much like, he is proud of him being fear and like being the night and the shadow, and like, you don't know where I am. I might be here. I might be there. Like, everybody like is fearing me, which really plays in, which I really liked it, how much it plays into the end of the story.
Right. Good arc. There's a good arc.
Yeah, there's a good arc for him. And so, yeah, we just get his introduction, and then we're kind of just thrown into the plot, you know. Pretty much like a lot of the trailer I feel like is almost like the first act. Like a lot of like the good chunks of it, you know, like him saying vengeance with the gang of thuds, and like, you know, Riddler like the duct tape, and then like them at the crime scene. Like a lot of that's in the trailer. So
yeah, a lot of what we see is in that first act.
In the first act, which is good because there's
like, I was like, all right, it's a 3-hour movie. Hopefully we like a lot of what is not in the trailer is what we see in the film. So. And
I feel like we're just going to start bouncing around. But I think one of my favorite things about it, I think establishing him in year 2. Because it's like one thing I always get a gripe about is like a villain's origin story. There's always a villain already there.
Yeah.
And like sometimes the villain is there before the hero. This one, Bruce Wayne has been Batman for about 2 years. We don't know exactly how long the second year it's been.
Yeah.
But what's great is that in those 2 years, there hasn't been a villain.
Right. Or like, just like...
It's been just thugs and gangsters and
your
stuff
typical
like that.
petty crime and like the robberies and assaults and stuff like that.
And it's revealed that like he created the villain.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome, because that's like the Joker. Like they're just together, and they like, you know, they work together and were created together. And
when you have like a person or image that like represents, you know, heroism, you're gonna bring out those villains that are like just to counteract the good with the evil. So
I think it's awesome
year 2
that like everybody in Gotham like is like, dude, fuck this guy, like, who the fuck are you? Like, and I like how Gordon is like the only one that's like
on his side,
and he's like, no, like this guy, like, I believe in him. Like, you know, I've been like, you know, with him for like at least a year or so.
Did they establish if Gordon made the bat signal then, since he really is the only person?
I assume he did. And it seems like they always meet in that sacred area together.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like
it's like in like a scaffolding, something.
So
old scaffolding.
But I love how you're just kind of thrown into the world. It's just it's really nice that you're thrown in. It's Batman, so it's easy to kind of pick it up. But you're just thrown into this.
It's kind of how like Spider-Man: Homecoming was. You didn't really have a origin.
No,
like, you already know the origin of Spider-Man.
Theoretically, the origin was like those 3 movies, if you really think about it.
Exactly.
Now Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but anyways, so I just love that, especially just like the fact that, you know, at the pretty much like the climax of the 3rd act, or getting close to it, when the Riddler like is like, dude, no, like we're on the same page, and he's like, no, we're not. He's like, yes, we are, and like you realize, oh my god, like this average person realized that he could also put on a mask and be vengeance as well, and like
in his own way, in his own
fucked up way. And I'm like, that's how you fucking give birth to a villain.
That's what makes a good villain compelling, is, you know, sure, he is evil and he is doing these awful things, but he is going against the elitists, and like that goes a lot into the politics of some of the story too, is just corrupt politicians taking over, like pretty much promoting like the crime and everything, because it just keeps things like spinning on their end. They don't give a fuck about the people, which like also hints more toward a lot of what like Todd Phillips's Joker was kind of going for too.
Yes,
that reminded me a lot of that, just like getting the lower class riled up, you know, wanting a revolt, wanting just like change in power. So I thought that was nice, as like we're just in that time where it's like we're getting tired of the elites, and you know, you're getting superhero films now like centered around that. So it's pretty cool.
I like how it also like makes Bruce Wayne, Batman, question himself, and that's at the end of the movie when he realizes they don't need another person to fear; they need somebody to believe in. Yeah. And so I love how the whole movie, it's either dusk or like it's dawn or it's night.
Hard as shit.
It's like it's never truly day. We don't see daytime, which I think is awesome.
And even when it is daytime, it's like really hazy. Like a lot of this.
Well, I know. I think it's like dusk and like dawn. Like I don't even sunrise, think like it's really like.
And like the only
besides the funeral scene.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that was
besides
pretty much the only scene.
Yeah, the only scene. But like, he's not Batman there. But I guess we'll talk about Bruce Wayne because he's only in this for like 5 minutes if you think about it. And is he even really Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, and even when he's doing his detective work, a lot of the time he's already in the bat cowl. You know,
like I'm convinced.
At his monitors.
I'm convinced we haven't even seen like Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne because this whole movie, it shows how obsessed he is, which I think is awesome to like see, because he's not a superhero, he's a vigilante. Like he doesn't have powers, so like you just get to see how consumed he is in this persona to the point where he admits he's like, I am nocturnal.
Yeah, he feels like he's given a purpose. He doesn't give a shit about Wayne Enterprises or anything financially about his family's legacy or anything like that.
I love that. Like there's only like really 2 like scenes, maybe 2.5 scenes of him as Bruce Wayne, and you can just tell how uncomfortable he is. He doesn't know really how to like interact.
He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't really talk to any of these people.
Like
see, in like the trailer when the mayor or like the mayoral candidate is like talking to him, I thought she was gonna play a big part, but he's like, no, I don't even. Like I don't want to fucking talk to you or do business with you either.
I didn't even think she was a mayor. I thought she was like a reporter or something in the trailer. So
I'm kind of glad that the trailer like really didn't give a whole lot.
No, like I don't think the trailer spoiled stuff, honestly. If anything, I think it spoiled like the multiple Riddlers at the end. Yeah. I think that's but like that's a cool shot.
Because
it's like that shot when he's like, oh, see, I did. I noticed. Okay. I was like, I saw like 3 Riddlers. I was like, what's happening there?
Interesting. That sucks.
Yeah. So like, I knew that like he was gonna have like
his little
there was gonna be like a twist with like a bunch of Riddlers.
Yeah, it's not just him. So that pretty much like launched that like kind of 4th act.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Like, it kind of does like I will say, into a 4-act structure.
Like when they arrest, like in the trailer when he gets arrested, I thought that was going to be a lot sooner.
Yeah,
I did. Like,
but also whenever that does happen, I was like, damn, this is how like he gets caught. He just like gives himself up. So I'm glad.
No, but like that was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah,
but
no, see, like I knew in the trailer, I'm like, no, he wants to get caught.
Yeah,
I was like, why is he hiding in plain sight? Like he could easily hide away in the shadows. I'm like, he wants to get caught. But like I thought that was gonna happen like more in like the 2nd act of the movie, not like the climax of the 3rd and then like the extra climax.
Yes.
But
the super duper climax.
I guess if we're sticking on the Riddler right now, Paul Dano.
How'd you like him as a performance?
I can appreciate it. I think it sucks that he's really like only like physically on screen for like one big scene.
Yeah,
and a lot of the other stuff, it's just everything else, it's like he's on a phone, it's kind of staticky, and like I think he's really good there, and I think he tries his best with the direction he gets in the jail cell.
Yeah,
but I think it's a little too much.
Yeah,
because I mean you could see that like obviously when he put the mask on, he was more menacing. So maybe like when he's without the mask, that's how he acts. He's a little more goofy and kooky and like more insane. And when he puts it on, he feels like he's powerful. So I guess like we're seeing both sides of him. But yeah, I was like, dang, this sucks, because after that scene during the big climax, I'm like, well, he's still in jail. Like,
like his plan is now
at the end of the day,
everyone else.
He is just a person. There's no way he's breaking out of there.
No.
So it kind of sucked that like I knew he wasn't gonna get to do anything else. What about you?
I thought he was really good. I feel like some of the direction for him, like he kind of does go a little over the top. And sure, like you need to show how insane he is.
Yeah.
And that could be that way. But in terms of a villain, like this was a really good. Oh no, don't fall, please. In terms of a first villain, I will say.
You got it.
No, oh no.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And then this way to tighten.
Yeah. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
There we go. Okay. As a first villain, because I mean, I assumed this was going to be the first of a few Batman movies.
I hope it's more than a trilogy. Anyways,
Yeah.
but keep going.
But like really solid first villain for like this new trilogy because it's so grounded and like this is his first big villain.
Case, yeah.
And like you don't need to do a Joker or a Bane or Mr. Freeze. Like none of those. I don't think like Mr. Freeze or Bane will ever like be in this universe.
I don't think so. I hope not. I hope
it's way
very
too grounded. It's way too just like in the streets instead of just like the big Avengers plan to take over the world or Gotham.
Even like the Penguin isn't like Tim Burton's the Penguin who was like raised by Penguin. Like he's just a fat mobster that is like, you know, spineless, and he's kind of a snitch and a rat and all that. And you got it, buddy?
No, dude, this thing is like gonna fall. Oh my god! All right, keep talking.
Okay.
I'm gonna fix this.
Let's see. Yeah, Riddler. We're done with that. We'll talk about Colin Farrell as the Penguin. He definitely.
You really enjoyed him, didn't you?
I did. I liked him. Yeah. I was just also happy that he was in it a lot more than I originally thought he was. Mm-hmm. I thought he was going to kind of be like a first act villain and then get caught or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I didn't realize he was going to be like pretty much like, because he's not even like the second villain, because I guess you'd say like
But that's like the big surprise is like a character who literally was hidden from the whole trailer is Falcone.
John Turturro, baby.
And I thought that was awesome that like there was a character that I had no idea was in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then realizing that like Penguin is just kind of there, and honestly it's kind of like an origin story for the Penguin.
Yeah, so
because you see that he's pretty low, and then you find out that he betrayed whatever the one mobster that like is like the whole conspiracy theory. He betrayed him, and now he's under Falcone, and then fucking Falcone gets caught and gets killed, and then Penguin becomes now Penguin. Like he just won.
He runs these streets.
He
now.
knocked out the other two mobsters, and so like that's probably what the show's
like
going to be about.
Yeah. So my question to you is: Do you think if like we get a Batman 2, do you think Penguin will be in that, or do you think a lot of it will? Because it's looking like it's going to be Joker for the second one.
See, I don't know if he will be in the second. Like, I don't know.
So I'm saying, like, do you think a lot of it will just be the show, and like, because it's going to be his show, really? So maybe Batman takes him down at the end of the season.
Maybe, or like maybe in the next movie, like he just has a pretty small role. Maybe he shows up for like a scene or two. You know, like I don't think he'll get as much screen time as he did in the first one, because he also will have a show to be doing stuff. Yeah. And it'd be cool if like Robert is. Like not committed, but like, you know, maybe he will show in like an episode or two. That'd be kind of cool. It would kind of suck if there's a Penguin show and Batman doesn't show up, you know?
Yeah.
Because they know each other. They interacted. There's a really good scene in the nightclub when he's like fucking threatening the hell out of him.
I also liked how both Batman and Bruce Wayne both went into the club.
Yeah.
And did shit. Like wasn't like he's not just hiding behind the mask the entire time.
He's pretty aggressive, and that's what I like.
He needs to be like him and be incognito as Bruce Wayne, because like and I also really loved throughout the film like everyone freaking out that they're seeing Bruce Wayne, because like that would be like a celebrity, like
because like usually like everybody's
kid.
Like he's like a poster child, and everybody loves him and knows him.
Bruce Wayne.
Here it's like everybody's like whoa, Bruce Wayne, all the paparazzi trying to get him. Yeah,
exactly.
So
I like that touch. Like they really. And then, like, another thing, he doesn't give a fuck about paparazzi. He doesn't care about the fame or notoriety, because he really doesn't want that.
It's a totally different Bruce Wayne, because it's more just, it's just Batman as Bruce Wayne. I love it.
Like, mid-20s Batman.
Fuck the haters who say he's too emo. I think, like, why not? I think my biggest thing is, like, I'm always cool with getting, like, a different type of Batman. There's so many of them out there, and we've already had so many different types. I don't need another Christian Bale or another Michael Keaton or another Ben Affleck. Give me some billionaire philanthropist that I don't know, full-on rapist, that... full-on rapist. If you know, you know. I want a different Bruce Wayne, and that's what we got in this movie. So I really appreciate that.
Now, I will say, pretty let down by Alfred. Got zero Alfred, hardly.
And people are like, "Oh, but we've gotten Alfred before," and I'm like, "I don't care. It's Alfred. It's
it's his personal life. Basically, is that singular character in his family.
Yeah,
that's
and
all
like,
his family is now.
I guess like the only thing I like is that like you could tell like they're not close, which I think is an interesting dynamic to have. And then,
and if you're making that Batman as like angsty and like just detached, emotionally, like he's not gonna love Alfred.
And so he's attached to him, but like you could tell that like Alfred's reaching out and wanting to help, and so he gets to help for like the 5 minutes that he's on screen before he fucking blows up. He lives, obviously. I was like, you're not killing Andy Serkis like Alfred.
I was just kind of shocked that there was a few like choices in this movie where like I was kind of shocked that they did that as the first film, and this like Alfred was one of them. It's like, damn, like I guess conventionally, like having the,
maybe like we'll realize in, sorry to cut you off, but maybe like Alfred will realize, because like at the scene at the hospital when they see the bat single, we never get to see Alfred's reaction to everything. So maybe it'll be like a awakening for him and realize, oh my gosh, Batman's actually good. And then like in the second movie, like he's really ready to help.
Yeah, especially now that Bruce realizes that he's more doing good than just like,
and maybe like that will open him up to be closer to
positive
Alfred. So, I mean, I just think there's going to be a lot of character development in these, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, I just was disappointed that Alfred was like in it at first, and then he just like disappeared. And then like the next time we see him, he gets blown up.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get any dialogue.
It was like they definitely shot those two scenes in the cave like the same day, and obviously they're apart in the story.
And there's like a little bit at like his dining room table.
Yeah, the table a couple times, and then he gets blown up and he's in the hospital. Like that's the only place.
And like that's his big scene is in the hospital. Yeah. So Selena Kyle,
I actually really enjoyed.
I did. I don't understand people saying that like they could do without her, or that
she brings enough like.
I think because Jacob and David didn't really care for her. Okay. I think David liked her.
I think I was annoyed that I mean you give him a love interest.
You didn't like the love interest, but like
I mean you give him the love interest because like he has nothing else emotionally going on. So like,
but like that's also like that is like. That's the love interest in the comics. Like, it's gonna happen.
And that's not Rachel, I guess. Yeah. So, but, I feel like at the start I was kind of iffy with her, but the more like her and Rob's chemistry, I feel were really good because the sexual tension was strong as shit with them.
Dude, I wanted them to bang.
She's sleek, she's sexy, she's promiscuous. Like, she's a badass dude. She had some decent like combat.
She was
like,
confident too, which I think is
exactly. Like you can't be timid while you're doing these choreography. Like I don't know how much was her, but I thought she was pretty great though.
Yeah, I thought she was
one
really
of my favorite like performances and characters. In the film.
I liked her a lot, and obviously the big reveal that like Falcone was her daughter.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice twist.
That was a good nice twist. So like you understand that. And so, like, you know, after Falcone dies and she's like, well, there's really nothing here for me anymore. And she leaves. So I am curious if they'll even explore it. Because, like, what would bring her back, you know? If anything, it would be Batman, like Bruce Wayne. She doesn't even know what Bruce Wayne is. So maybe, like, she'll find out that, like, Batman's in trouble or something and she'll come back.
Might give her a call or something if he needs a little bit more help or something.
But, like, I really don't see a reason for her to come back.
No.
So like I thought that was an interesting choice to establish this character. And then by the end of the movie she was like,
their separate ways.
Like, fuck Gotham, I'm out of here. And I'm like, interesting. Okay, that was
I also going back to Falcone and just like all the crime guys in general, just how like gross and sleazy all of them are, and they kind of like they present that really well, especially once you realize that Selena is Falcone's daughter. And just like how he treats her, like, oh, you know, how you doing, baby? Why won't you come see me? Blah blah. It's just like, get the you're so gross. Get out of here, John Turturro. So I really like that aspect and how they presented that. So this is like the grossest Gotham, the more most
the atmosphere is fucking amazing.
This is one of the best looking superheroes I've ever seen.
Yes,
easily.
It's
Matt Reeves.
It's eye candy.
He brings out a lot of his like techniques that he used, like with some of the like vehicle shots from like the Planet of the Apes movies, a lot of like rigs, like the whole flying sequence.
I really like that. That was a cool perspective of looking at it.
Really intense car chase with Penguin and Batman.
Yep. I would say, yeah, I'd say like the big like climax was like it was fine.
That was probably one of my least favorite parts of the film is like that over the top climax after such a grounded
I liked
film.
the flooding, and I liked because like the stakes were real. He's like, there's gonna be so many people on the streets, like they're gonna have nowhere to go. They're gonna get washed away. Like all the crime is gonna get washed away. But then just like having it break into the arena and like and then like trying to assassinate the new mayor and like. The whole big
it was a lot going on
down.
for like, and sure, it's a 3-hour film, so you built up a lot, but at the same time, it's like I think it was just a little too over the top for what the film was building up.
Yeah,
like, for a first film, like maybe second film, stakes are way higher. All these characters already. Is more of a challenge, whereas like this was like if he just needed to save like. I don't know, like a small building of people, like an explosion was going to happen at like a political headquarters or something like that. Like, I feel like that would have been a little bit better with the scope, like in terms of what the film had already built up and how grounded it was. Because like we said, even the Riddler is still such a small villain. So I guess they make up once in the context of this film, like he's not going crazy, but at the same time it was just a little too big for me, I guess.
I think the last character talked about is Gordon.
Probably my least favorite character.
He just was
they just made him because they built him up as like the comic relief pretty much because he's with Batman a lot.
He's with Batman and like he's kind of like the black sheep of the Gotham police.
Yeah,
and
he's the narrative character to ask Batman like, oh, what do you think this means? Oh, this is what, and then like he explains a lot. So he is
now thinking about it honestly character. Like all the jokes that were him.
Really did not land that often. My favorite was probably the no guns is your thing. I need a gun. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just fucking Gordon. Like, that's all I have protecting me.
I just think he was like a little like too aggressive.
Yeah.
I just felt like he was like also putting on a persona. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like Gordon to me.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like he was playing tough guy, and like I feel like Gordon's more humble, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's also like Jeffrey Wright's voice, and he's playing this like detective. But like I just like Jason and I joked about it, but it just reminded me of like Jordan Peele doing a skit of like, I'm just an undercover cop, and I'm just trying to get rid of all the crime, and like that's just his voice.
Yeah,
and like he presents like the cadence of this, like his voice in this remind me a lot of like his kind of character in The French Dispatch and how he talked in the flow, like not as quick, obviously, like Wes Anderson dialogue, but. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It was like I love Jeffrey Wright in general, but I will say this is like
I think
when it's Gary Oldman,
I know it's
so lovable,
so hard,
and he's like at that Gordon is like you cheer from the entire time, from Batman Begins to the end. So it's like it's hard, but it was mostly the writing. Like my biggest gripe with the film is like some of the dialogue. That just felt a little too cheesy or just like
for me it was the riddles.
Yeah,
I was so annoyed that Batman like justice,
dude, like
orphan. I'm like, dude, what?
The funeral
where they had to do the 3 riddles in 3 minutes, or 2 minutes
or
something,
bro. Like I understand, like yes, he is the greatest detective in the world,
but it's a riddle.
But like. Besides the first one, which like I guess like lies still, that's kind of like
that was kind of but they also like sat on that for at least like a minute.
Yeah,
the other like 5 or 4 riddles, boom, boom, like I'm like, dude, come on.
It's like
they didn't even give us a second to think about.
That's what I'm just like. What did he just say? And then they're already moving on to the next riddle.
I was like, dude, come on.
I want to try to solve these riddles as a freaking audience member.
Yeah,
but whatever. That was one of the most annoying moments of the movie.
Another annoying moment was the like fucking damage. Like
yes,
literally, you're the one that pointed it out. When Batman is holding Coulson, he is holding him
face to face. His face, mind you, is right here.
We don't know the material of his bat,
but it just looks like leather.
But
okay, sure, it's leather, but
this
face,
is all exposed.
All of that would get burned the fuck up in an explosion.
He is holding him, and it explodes.
He doesn't push him away last second. Yeah.
And then you see him, and he just like he passes out. He knocks out, but you look and you're like, dude, your jaw. You should be dead. I'm sorry.
Fine. No scratches. No.
I'm not a person that's like. I'm not a person that like Home Alone. You know, sure they should have died like 20 times. Yeah. I don't care. Like
it's a kids movie.
It's a kid, but like stuff like when somebody like gets punched really hard, I'm like, oh, you totally should have died. This is so unrealistic.
Yeah.
But like for how realistic this movie is, I'm like, you should have fucking
and it's
died.
An explosion.
Yes.
With fire. Really
like
hot.
We don't even see Coulson's body because his whole body
all over the place.
And Robert was right next to him, and he didn't. Okay, and then the other one,
the mayor. The mayor getting shot.
Oh, the mayor getting shot. First off, they don't reveal if it's like the chest or like the arm.
It was like
I think it was like the shoulder ish.
Yeah.
Which if it's a fucking like sniper, like her blade probably would have exploded.
Yeah.
So
like watching, we just watched Wind River.
Yeah.
And with the sniper at the end, those guys are flying.
Dude, and that's realistic.
You're telling me this frail little mayor lady is not getting launched the fuck back? That's like probably even closer proximity.
Yeah.
Like, so that was annoying.
And then
what was the other one?
No, the other one is. Also, we didn't even talk about it. I love when all the cops were chasing him when he punches Gordon.
He was like, oh, that was another joke that was like, all right, you could have let. Fuck.
What was the joke?
You could have.
You could have you could have like faked held the punch or like not punch as hard, and then Batman's like I didn't or whatever. Like he's like,
yeah, I did take it easy on you. What are you talking about?
But I kind of liked when all of them were chasing him and like the rig when he gets shot up like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
great shot. Using the grappling gun.
That's a really good shot.
Fuck yeah.
But then I love another part of just him being in year 2 is when he like gets on top and he's like, oh. Like fuck, It's like you can tell, like dude, like he's never done this. Like
good direction, Matt Reeves. You understand like where your character is supposed to be.
Yeah, he's like I never done this. All right,
and activate
squirrel power.
He's just fucking scared. Like he's trying to get the fuck out of there.
But then the dumb part, it gets ruined by clearly like you establish he's never done this before, so he's not gonna have a flawless landing.
No.
But I rather have him like just tuck and rolled. Instead of literally like launching onto a semi truck,
does he smack onto a sign?
And like he like hits like the bottom of like a bridge or like
the bridge and that's what the parachute gets caught on.
Yeah, and so the parachute gets caught on the bridge, which then like whips him onto the truck, and then he like flings off, and then rolls, and then he just fucking gets up, and I'm like, what?
Now he was limping a little bit,
but dude, no,
yeah, no.
Like
another thing, like he gets shot, and so it's like they don't explain how strong the suit is.
Yes.
So I guess that's just like a little.
Yeah.
Whereas like Batman Begins, when they're doing all the armory, they're testing out the armor. Like, oh, this is bulletproof. This is what this could do. This
and clearly it's bulletproof. But when he gets like the shotgun to the chest, he's like out.
Yeah, he needs
that adrenaline.
Assuming venom because it's green.
I think we're assuming it's adrenaline, but like I want to believe
it's like adrenaline boost of some kind.
I want to believe it's like the early stages of the venom that could lead to Bane.
It'd be an easy nod to do like a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, like I'm not one to be like oh I'm
super
taken
nitpicky.
out by it, but like I'm like if you're going for a really grounded movie, this man should have died at least like 3 times.
Yeah, or just like suffered more damage.
Yeah,
and like. There are a couple shots where you see how tattered his body is, like all the scratches, all the wounds, but he should
have died at the funeral.
There should be a lot more damage to like what we're shown. Yeah. So that was another big problem with mine as well.
My last gripe, which is the biggest one, it's the runtime.
Yes.
I love long movies. Mm-hmm. I love them. I think. If it's meant to be a long movie, like
The Godfather,
which we just
perfectly
watched,
paced 3-hour movie.
We watched that 2 weeks ago, and that flew by.
Yeah,
and then we watched Drive My Car, and that did not fly by.
But it was a slow burn, and I guess like this is more of a slow burn action superhero film. So,
but like this also felt like.
But that's the thing. It's like you have to have a lot of payoff for that slow burn in order to earn that. Like, like Eyes Wide Shut, 3 hours long, a super slow burn.
It's you feel the 3 hours, but it's fucking.
But it's
good.
you're meant to soak every single scenery, every moment in.
Drive My Car did not pay off.
No,
the Batman paid off, but like I still it didn't like blow my mind.
Yeah,
because
the runtime and then like our.
It's not like it's a comic book movie at the end of the day, so it's not gonna have like this amazing ending.
Yeah, where like Endgame, it's 3 hours because a lot of shit's happening. Yeah. So like obviously the pacing is way faster.
Yes.
Whereas Matt is just really taking his time with like
the world and the characters,
the epicness in like a Snyder way, but it's not just like one still, like a screensaver.
Also, like not just, like slow motion.
Yes.
I don't think there really was much. If
it's just like him slowly walking into frame and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like like talking about it a lot more. I think I've begun to really appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah, the more I think about it too, and like talking to you and Matt, because me, Adam and Jason also watched it with us. And I was kind of on like Adam and Jason's side with not liking it as much, but the more we talk to you guys and just like different perspective, which is like that's film. Like everyone's gonna have a different perspective going in, digesting everything, and just like catching more things. I was like, oh, okay, that was actually a lot smarter than I thought. So like, and that's what you get with like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
there's so much
to take in and soak in and. The first time you're just like blinded by images and music.
Yes. And just like, you're like, oh, we finally got this. Because we were supposed to get this like October, I think, last year.
And so I think it could potentially go to a 9.
Okay.
It's a solid 8. And like I said, the more we talk about it, I'm like, I think I could appreciate it more paying attention to the smaller details and like maybe be like, wow, that's really good. Or like, I didn't pick up on that the last time.
Right.
Because I also enjoy, we didn't talk about it, but dude, the detective shit.
Yeah. Like the best Batman in terms of him being a detective.
Like, I think the first act is my favorite. I love the first act. I think the second act is really good.
I would say mine was also the first act.
I think the first act's really good. I love the arc. I love Bruce Wayne, Batman's arc. And overall, I had a really fun time. The score is really good.
The score is phenomenal. Like you said, it gets like a little repetitive at times.
Just like that little, like the theme, like the bum, bum, bum. Like they play that in different versions everywhere. And I'm like, do we need to play the same thing in different styles?
A little more diverse with tone.
It's still really good. The cinematography is really good. The production
this is a really good Halloween film. This is like a great
Which
Halloween
sucks
film.
that like that's why it was supposed to come out in October.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect.
Why did it get pushed? That like HBO Max, or Warner just knew like this was going to make a fuck ton of money. So
and they probably didn't want to.
They didn't want to be in the model.
Yeah.
So I guess so. But
what do you? I guess. Yeah. What is your rating?
Right now, it's like a decent 6.
A decent 6.
Like I really like the script is easily the weakest aspect for me. It might not be as bad on rewatch. But when you're doing such a slow burn of a comic book film and like a lot of your dialogue is not hitting for me, like most of the dialogue like between characters and exchanges like either a little too corny or just like I don't know, not as realistic for like what a real life person I guess you could say would say. Like a lot of the cop like quips and stuff like that just like and then like I was a big fan of Gordon and stuff like that. But yeah, still like a pretty decent 6. There's a lot of great stuff about it, and it's mostly technical for me. Like, pretty much flawless from every technical aspect. Production design, like you said. Score, I really enjoyed. But in terms of, like, because of the script, and maybe it has to do with a little bit of the direction because of the scripts, like, some performances I was not like huge fan of or like characters and stuff like that. So it might go up on rewatch. It might be like a 7, but I don't think it'll ever be like a 9 for me because it, like that script's still there, but could go up to an 8. But like right now, pretty decent, pretty comfy 6. Hey. Probably will go up to a 7 on rewatch.
It's Batman, so I know I'm watching it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'll probably buy it.
I'll probably own it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
it'll look good on 4K. Batman. Like. Yeah, so...
Except Batman vs. Superman. I don't like that movie. No. Especially the Snyder cut of that. What was it called? The Ultimate Edition?
Something like that.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so... felt good to finally get to watch it. Nirvana was also really good in it.
Yeah, they played that song twice in the movie, which I was kind of surprised.
Damn
of.
straight.
Like the very beginning and then the very end. So
it fit both times.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the mood.
This is like the grungiest, like Batman movie. And it's so funny because
a part of me wish it took place in the 90s. Just like, because like it felt like the 90s. Like just that
and then it was
depressing time, you know? Like,
it reminded me a lot of Seven, too. I mentioned that to you. Like, in terms of it always raining and, like, the Riddler being a lot like John Doe with, like...
It's just like a crime movie,
yeah.
And you have the dynamic of, you know, you have like the Morgan Freeman, who's the older one,
the grizzled veteran,
kind of like Gordon. We don't know if he's like that, like how many years.
I guess he's really not that old.
No, not even old, but like he's still a detective. But but you have Brad Pitt and Batman, who are both angsty, fresh, want to do this and like stuff like that. So, Also, just a quick side note that I forgot. I like in the interrogation scene that you thought the whole movie the Riddler knew who Batman was.
Yeah.
But he actually didn't.
That was a nice twist.
I think that's genius. Because in the trailer, I was like, they hint at that he knows who he is.
Yeah.
And it's smart because they don't. So I was like, oh, that's the reveal that he doesn't know who he is. So
and then that's ultimately not even the point for like Riddler. He's not trying to crack like the case of who is Batman.
He thought Batman was on his side, which I think is great, and he's not. And you can just see how
it breaks his heart.
His world is just shattered, and I think it's wonderful.
Paul Dano, pretty good actor.
Pretty good actor.
But yeah, that was the Batman.
And then the last scene.
Yes.
Yes.
Barry Keoghan.
Yes, as supposedly Joker.
The Batias
I think
told
it's
us
kind of confirmed it is.
Yeah, that Matt pretty much said that it's the Joker, which
is cool. What I read, I think David posted it in the group chat, is that this Joker has a medical.
Because he's already in Arkham.
Yes, but like his what's the word I'm looking for? Condition. Thank you. I was trying to say something with an E. I don't know what I was trying to go for.
No, you're good.
His condition, whatever it is, it's like he like can't stop smiling.
Yes.
So like I think,
isn't that like in the comics, like, or maybe like a couple?
Well, usually there's different versions. There's obviously like the chemical bath, and then there's the scar.
Yep.
And now we're getting this version where he's always smiling.
It's going to be interesting, Barry Keoghan doing that, because a lot of his characters is just like twisted fuck that doesn't smile ever.
Yeah, so I wonder what his smile looks like.
So I'm kind of...
I wonder if it will be all natural or if like...
makeup.
Well, I wonder if they'll be putting like a plastic thing, you know, to like really stretch out his like smile or
kinda
whatever.
Like kind of how Jack Nicholson's kind of looked, like just that permanent smile. That's not like clearly scars.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see what happens. I hope he's not the villain in the second one. Maybe like the third one. I mean,
do you think they really tease? I mean, they could like.
They could just
Avengers
tease him.
That.
Why not?
Yeah,
like just
the Marvel movies did that.
I hope that this world goes full in on like Robin and like, you know, Oracle.
All the grounded shit.
Bring all those people in. Dude, do like a Death in the Family. Like, let's see fucking Joker kill Robin. Like, that would be so good. And then we could get like Red Hood in it. Nah, they could do so much. I hope it's more than a trilogy.
Possibilities are endless with Batman's characters.
And the thing is, like, Robert wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh man, I hope he wants to do this.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna be super committed to do like a lot of these?
I think so. Like,
especially if it's a good ass paycheck. Like, this is gonna make a lot of money. So
and like, I feel like
they're gonna throw it at him.
This thing that sucked is like, I enjoyed Ben Affleck as Batman. It sucked that he hated it, and he ultimately was like, I'm out of here.
The best Bruce Wayne.
Yes, the best Bruce Wayne. Yes, and it sucks. And so like, that's why I'm like scared. I'm like, no, Robert, don't leave. I'm like, you're really good as Batman. I want you to like at least let's do 4.
Yeah,
let's do an anthology. Okay, let's do 4 films. Maybe if we get greedy, let's get 5.
You know what?
Okay.
I mean, this could be like, who knows how successful the other DC films could be, but this could be like their giant success.
Like, who knows? Like, are we gonna get like an Aquaman 3, or are we gonna get like another Flash movie? Like, Like, I don't know. I'm not into DC like that. I don't really know.
We don't even know if like a third Wonder Woman's coming out just because how
I don't know what their lineup is. I don't know what's going on because Marvel's so organized.
Well, that's another thing. Like they could do literally anything because they don't.
I mean, I know Joker 2 is coming out, so that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And then you have all the shows coming out, but and then we talked about last thing. It's kind of long, but will all the other movies be directed by Matt Reeves? And also, will they all be 3 hours?
Yes.
Those are the two big questions.
Because, I mean, with the Matt Reeves thing, I guess it's all like how well this does financially, which it will do.
Yes.
But yeah, it will be.
I wonder how
also his vision.
I wonder how I wonder how committed Robert. Like,
I think
does he want to make 4 movies?
I mean,
or does he want to make like 2, take a little break, and maybe make like the fifth
really
one
all
or
he's
something?
done was like Cloverfield, like Let Me In. Did he do that?
Yes.
Horror film.
And then the planets.
The 2 Apes films, and then like he really doesn't do a whole lot. So like I feel you're giving him a fuck ton of money,
so
and that's his baby. He'll keep doing it.
I hope he wants to keep doing it
as long as Warner Brothers keeps him. I think.
Yeah.
That's all on them. Ultimately.
And then for the 3-hour argument, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I think because it's the first one.
It's the first one. You establish a lot of characters who are obviously going to be in the second and third one, you know. And so I think it'll always be like, I don't think it'll ever get over like 240.
Yeah, it'll be like 230.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
it'll probably
think
be 150 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get a 3-hour one except for maybe like the last one. But like, which I'm okay with. I don't need like 5 3-hour Batman movies.
No,
I don't think I need that.
Especially because like that was one of our biggest issues was the runtime,
which sucks because I love long movies.
Yeah.
So,
but if it's done right,
which is like
perfect,
The Godfather,
but it's still really like it's an entertaining ass movie. It's fucking Batman, so you're gonna have a good time.
I think I would rank this 4th out of the Batman movies.
Ooh, I would rank this 5th.
I just really need to see Batman Returns again.
Yeah, that's been a while, but from memory, I'm just gonna put it slightly ahead of this one. It'll be like Dark Knight. Begins probably, and then Batman 1 and Returns. Like it's been so fucking long. I don't even know which one I even like more of those two.
Yeah,
but those are like 3 and 4, and then this would be 5. Probably.
I would say Dark Knight, then Batman, and then Batman Begins, and then this, and then Returns. Okay. So I mean, forever. It just shows that like 5 Batman movies I enjoy, exactly, which is awesome.
Batman fucking rules. That's one of my favorite.
Batman's awesome
for a reason. Batman rules. Spider-Man, you could always count on. Not anymore, but you did. And then,
did you read that article? Did you see that article where it's like, it was saying like, people need to take their nostalgia glasses off for the original Raimi films because they're not as good as the new trilogy.
Shut the fuck up. What article was that?
I don't.
What publication said this blasphemy? Have you seen Sam Raimi's movies? Get the fuck out of here.
It was probably some.
John Watts.
I think I saw it on Facebook or something. I should have taken a screenshot.
You can't watch a movie on your fucking cell phone. Get real.
Any more thoughts though?
Nah, I think we covered a good amount. We covered,
I think, honestly, like all of it.
Like all the major characters, some
plot
future
points,
stuff.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, shout out to you, Matt Reeves. Good for
you.
Dude,
honestly,
and
yeah.
Thank you, Warner Brothers, for just letting directors do their thing. Even if it's like not the greatest in the world sometimes, you give them a vision, they let them prove themselves.
It's like you did Zack Snyder dirty, but like, I guess
that was like their learning experience, though.
I mean, to be fair though, like they gave him a chance.
They gave him the 4-hour film.
Well, but also they gave him a chance with, I think
he had 3 films.
Man of Steel. They had Batman vs Superman,
Justice League,
and then Justice League was like
daughter died.
That's when they gave up.
Yeah,
and so like, I think people were like kind of like, I guess people are like mad that like he didn't get to finish his trilogy, but he definitely he had his vision there.
He has 3.5 movies because I mean then you gave him the Snyder cut.
Well, 2.5.
No, because it would be 3, and then the half would be the first Justice League. I would say.
See, I just don't think that's his movie at all.
Yeah, I give him 3 then.
I would say 3. Okay. Yeah, he has 3 out of the 4 attempts. So,
hey, good for you, Snyder fans. You got what you wanted.
You got what you wanted, David.
It shouldn't be fucking 4 hours, though. I'm just gonna put that out there. Well, how much time is slow motion?
I think it's like 27 minutes.
That's ridiculous. Because like even 3.5 hours, I'm like, okay, that's more digestible than 4 hours.
You know, if anybody's made it to the end of this and they hear us talking shit, they're just gonna like maybe they subscribe to us and they're listening to us like, right now, and then
dipping.
Yeah, it's like fuck you guys. So,
bitch, you thought.
Alrighty, guys. Well, this has been Andrew.
This has been Connor.
Peace.
It's been good.